Good afternoon, ma'am. First of all, thank you for giving your valuable time. I'm Shail Dixit, and these are my teammates. We would like to ask you a few generic questions about your experience and insights in the corporate sector. Your response will help us to understand the practical corporate culture and real world working environment.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. I hope that I can help you figure out your career options.
So, I just want to ask you that can you briefly tell us about your journey into the investment banking? What inspired you to join this field?
So basically, I feel my journey started back in 2021 when I enrolled in IIFT as an MBA student. Back then, I wasn't sure about which field I want to pursue. Is it going to be finance or is it going to be marketing? But I think gradually, when I started, enrolling myself in the subjects, in the electives, was when I realized my interest for capital markets, for finance. Then I had an opportunity to intern for my summers with JP Morgan, which is when I became more sure that investment banking is going to be it for at least for the next few years. So yes, I think that was when it began.
Okay. So, what skills are most important for MBA finance student who want to enter in investment banking?
What skills? Hmm. I feel most of us think that it has to be finance, but before finance, it has to be accounting. Because accounting forms the base of financial knowledge. Um, if I talk about technical skills, so yes, it has to be finance, accounting, some basics about Excel because you will be spending a lot of time working on Excel's models, etc. Yeah, and then there are some soft skills which I think we can take up in the later course of the interview.
So, how important are the technical skills like financial modeling and valuation compared to the soft skill in the investment banking?
I think not just for investment banking, it's for any finance role in general that you will be interviewed and grilled on your financial knowledge in the very beginning. They expect you to know accounting inside out. They expect you to know how the three statements of accounting are linked to each other: the income statements, the balance sheets, the cash flow statements. Because uh, the impacts of these three statements flow directly into the financial models. So, yeah, technical skills, as I mentioned earlier, that you should have a very basic knowledge of Excel because the job will obviously train you. There is on the job training, but then again, you are expected to know the basics. Soft skills, I would say skills like communication. You should be very proactive. You should be able to handle uh, pressure, stress, because there are many times when you are working under hard deadlines. So all of these soft skills become equally important when you are on the job. But to get into the job, I think first of all, the technical skills become more important.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a question. Can you just tell us how typical day look like for an investor banker?
Um, so it actually depends on what type of team you are working in. So basically, in investment banking, you are aligned to a particular sector and a particular geography. So I work for the Asia team. So my day starts around 10:30 in the morning because which is when these guys also start in the Asia teams. Um, my day involves working on a lot of PowerPoint presentations because we work on pitch decks. It involves working on Excels as well because there are models, there are accounting things, finances. So that involves Excel. We take few breaks in between if time permits for our meals, lunch, etc. But yes, uh, not scaring you guys, but there is no log off time in investment banking.
That was nice. Can you tell me, ma'am, what are the current trends in investment banking that students should be aware of?
Yeah, so again, the trends vary across geographies. If you look at the big firms, they typically divide their geographies in Asia, America, and EMEA, which is the European and Middle East region. And I think the trends keep on changing, but in general, we have been seeing that AI has been coming over. It has changed the way businesses are conducted. it is also changing the way we are working in investment banking as well. We see a lot of activity happening in India right now. India markets are hot. There are IPOs, there are M&As happening every now and then. We see a lot of Japanese buyers interested in Indian markets. Uh, we see a lot of trends happening in fintech. So yes, I think there are some trends which are geography specific, and then there are generic trends like these which are seen everywhere around the globe.
Okay, so nice, ma'am. Ma'am, can you tell me which financial concepts should every aspiring investment banker understand truly?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it has to be accounts for sure. Although the accounts we learn in college is very basic, and it has to change with the type of industry you are working in. For example, I work for the financial institutions group, which involves banking and insurance clients. Now, the balance sheets and income statements look very different for these companies than the ones we study in college. But still, you have to know the basics of accounting, finance, all the free cash flow, DCFs, NPV, all these concepts. And I believe that the MBA programs nowadays are structured in a way that you actually have a lot of knowledge before entering into corporates. The electives and all, I think, are sufficient.
Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much, ma'am.
So
thanks,
my
ma'am.
question is, ma'am, what common mistake do freshers graduate makes when applying for investment banking roles?
Hmm. Um, I think again, not knowing the concepts well is one. Secondly, I think a lot of investment banking interviews uh, ask you if you are okay working for longer hours. And the expectations actually break there because a lot of students do not understand that long hours is the need of the job. So I think that second mistake, not knowing the expectations of the industry. Yeah, I mean, these are the two common mistakes I would say, not knowing the concepts and not knowing the expectations.
Okay. So how can MBA students prepare themselves to get placed in investment banking roles from college?
From college. Yeah, I think it has to be just knowing the concepts inside out, knowing the trends. And I always tell people who ask me that before sitting for any interview, it's always good to read about the bank you're applying for. At times, there are some good developments which you can actually talk with the interviewer about. Personally, in my case, when I had applied for JP Morgan, I remember making some mistakes in my interview answers as well. But I don't think 100% accuracy is what they are looking at. They would want to check if you are a cultural fit. And I believe the cultural fit is something which comes from your proactiveness to work for long hours, your passion for finance, uh, knowing the basic concepts. And yeah, the job actually trains you well then.
Okay. So my next question is which certification or courses would you recommend for the students interested in investment banking?
So I see a lot of people doing CFA these days, but particularly what I feel is that if you are actually pursuing MBA in finance, like with finance as majors, I do not particularly find any need to pursue